mom cheats, I might die of humiliation right now. I don't care if they suddenly come back in style for whoever knows what reason. They do not look good on anyone, especially 40-year-old women. Dear 40-year-old me, do you remember laughing out loud when you heard that some people in your town didn't think any Jewish people were there because they hadn't seen them? Remember laughing even harder when you found out someone you knew was Jewish and you had no idea? What about that time in 7th grade when you were sitting in the cafeteria and one of your friends started making fun of a girl in a light blue hijab? She kept talking about how wrong it was, how it shouldn't be allowed. Remember how uncomfortable you felt? Remember how you didn't say anything, even though you knew you should? Or in 9th grade, when the same girl was writing something in Arabic, and you thought it was the coolest thing you had ever seen, until you asked her to speak in Arabic, in which you knew a second language too. Dear 40-year-old me, do you ever think about the Buddhist temple in Thailand? I remember walking around and seeing all those people with the same looks on their faces that I saw in people at church. I also remember how fun it was to see a Buddhist monk in a bright orange robe reading a newspaper instead of doing something Buddhist monk-like. Dear 40-year-old me, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't think about this one much. I try not to think about it either. It wasn't that long ago for me, just last summer actually. We were with a tour group in Germany, and we were stopping at Dachau. Yes, that Dachau. Remember how everyone got really quiet when we parked? Remember how you could barely make yourself get off the tour bus, let alone actually walk through the gates and inside the camp? When I think about that day, the first thing that I think about is gray. The sky was gray, the gravel on the ground was gray, even the buildings were gray. Remember how you went back out to the gift shop after 15 minutes because you couldn't stand looking at those sad, gray buildings anymore? Couldn't stand thinking about how horrible it was that something this tragic could happen to millions of people? Dear 40-year-old me, I don't mean to depress you, even if it seems like I do. I just don't want you to forget. I don't want you to turn into someone who raises her daughters to criticize other people just because they're different. I don't want you to think there are no people of different faiths around just because you don't see them. I don't want you to look at the faces of the people sitting next to you at church and think that they're the only ones who care about their religion. Dear 40-year-old me, I don't know if you'll care about what 15-year-old you has to say, but you might. So just in case you do, I have one last thing to say. Remember things once in a while, even if you don't want to. Remember so that you don't forget.